Hello and welcome to Tarot by the Moon. This is Tasha here at Tarot by the Moon. Welcome everybody. Welcome to the waning moon in Cancer reading. We're really on the run up to solstice now. Do you know what? All day I've been thinking that the solstice was closer than it was. I've had that sort of a vibe. And it's actually still over a week to go. We'll be in a new moon by Christmas Eve. So that's quite nice and timely and everything. And we've got a week Wednesday, I think it is. Yeah, until the 21st, which is the winter solstice, my loves, okay? So I just had that energy today of thinking that it was closer than it was. If you know what I mean. I've been thinking, oh yes, this week now, it's next week now, and it's not. It's a whole week to go, so we're still on that lovely run up, so we've still got plenty of time. We can slow down a little bit. We can understand that we're still in the releasing moon energy, so we're still letting go of. We're still in Sagittarius season. Seems to have lasted forever this year, Sagittarius season, in a good way, because of course there's still time to work on the main principles of Sagittarius, which is truth and freedom. So we're still releasing all those obstacles to whatever your truth is, the truth about you. We've still got time to work on that, and there's always a good time to work on these things. Like I always say to you guys, it's like as if we've learned a dance step and now we know that move, and we don't stop doing it when Sagittarius season ends or whatever. We still remember that lesson and still bring that move in, when we need to. But that's been our primary focus, and also freedom. What is the obstacles to our freedom? Okay, and how we're releasing blocks that are standing in the way of love, of joy, of peace, the resistance, letting it go. So we've still got plenty of time while the moon's on the wane, my loves. Okay, now the moon today is actually in the sign of Cancer. So that's the most homely, cutchy, sort of maternal, nurturing sign. It's also a very psychic sign. So it's perfect to come in today and do a little run up to solstice reading for us. Okay, my loves, I'm super excited this year with all the seasons. It's been wonderful. I think part of that has been, for me personally, being able to share these special times with you guys has given me a zest and an energy for it, that I feel like I may have become as we all do, become a little bit jaded with life. But these days, because I know the different seasons are coming around, and I know the different special dates on that calendar, on that wheel are coming around, and I can share it with you guys, it's given me such a lot of energy. So I'd just like to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to each and every one of you for sharing your wonderful energy with me all year round. It's been absolutely fabulous, and thank you for allowing me the opportunity, space, and your precious time as well to come in and share these insights and messages with you guys. It's been absolutely glorious. So I hope you're all doing well. Now today I've been reminded about this. Well, I was reminded about it a couple of weeks ago, actually, just at the blue, just saw it there on my bookshelf. I thought, I need to weave this in some point. And it's a little book called Opening Doors Within by Eileen Cady. And in case you don't know who Eileen Cady is, she's a spiritualist. She's not with us anymore. She's on the other side of life now. But she actually founded the Findhorn community in Scotland. It's a famous commune in Scotland called the Findhorn Foundation, and she actually founded that. It's a fascinating story. She was a spiritual pioneer in many ways. She was way ahead of her time, and a very, very special person. Excuse Mr. Milo there. Mr. Milo! Come on! It's Mr. Milo, in case you haven't tuned in before. So Jack Russell called Mr. Milo. What we've got is a diary. It's like a perennial diary. It's called Opening the Doors Within. I haven't looked at it for a while. I did spend a couple of years looking at it every day and, sort of being quite immersed in this. But I thought it'd be nice to just bring one in at some point. And it's just insights, Eileen's insights, really. She was totally in touch with the divine. Now let me find today's. Where are we today? Saturday the 10th. So Saturday the 10th, so as I say, it's a perennial diary, so year after year you get something out of it. I'll read it to you. I have no idea what this is going to say. I just thought today's the day I'm going to bring Eileen in, okay? Do not waste time and energy thrashing about like a fish out of water, blaming your conditions and circumstances on somebody else. Simply know that it is all in your hands. Therefore, you can rectify it yourself without any help from anyone else when you take the time to find inner peace and stillness and wait upon me. Nothing will be hidden from you when you seek it, and when you lay all before me and seek to do my will, and my will alone, you will find that my will is when you learn to be still. Do not try so hard. Let go, relax, and find that peace of heart and mind which opens all doors and reveals the light of truth. You will find you will achieve far more when you can relax and put everything into my hands. Then very quietly wait upon me and allow things to flow freely and naturally without any effort on your part, and so to unfold in true perfection. See what I mean? I highly recommend you look up Eileen Caddy, and I highly recommend you look up the Findon Foundation. Some of the work they do is absolutely mind-blowing and inspiring. Need to say more. That says it all, and that actually does back up a lot of the insights that come through the readings. And especially lately, because it's making me think of the last Starseed reading that we did. If you haven't looked at it, do go back and look at it, because it's very much there. It's very much my will to thy will. Stop trying to push things forward with your own, surrender to greater will, okay? And relax. The more you relax, the more those good things are going to come to you. The more we keep pushing and resisting, the more we're pushing them away. And I'm so glad I brought that in today. It's an absolute treat, and I do highly, highly recommend it. Absolutely wonderful. Yes, so I'll have to remember to include that a little bit more often. I think that. Let me know what you think of it. Opening Doors Within, Eileen Caddy, in case you're interested in getting a copy for yourself. Findon Foundation. Right. I used to sort of like have a bit of a fantasy about running away to the Findon Foundation at one time, joining a commune or something similar, and I've dabbled in all sorts of similar things over the years, and we got to be creating from where we are, is what I've discovered. We've got to be absolutely creating from what we've got, from where we are, from what's around us and who's around us, and that's how we're changing things a bit by bit. I hope that makes sense. I hope that's inspiring. It ties in today with today's astrology, actually, that text as well, because today's astrology in the Patsy Bennett's astrology diary is saying Venus squares Jupiter. Communications will merit a little care and attention to avoid making already tense situations worse. Aim to listen to someone else's opinion, even if you didn't agree with it. Everyone's feeling a bit oversensitive. The moon's in Cancer, so it's no such thing as oversensitive and Cancer. You know what I'm saying, though. Just watch out, because people who are not normally used to that energy, if you're a water energy or you've got a lot of Cancer in your chart, you'll be used to that. You'll be quite warm in deep feelings and things like that, but other people are not, and it hits them for 6 when the moon's in Cancer. I feel it hits them more in a way, because they're not used to having those levels of emotions coming up and things like that. So we do well to apply our listening skills today and not push forward so hard, okay? Tomorrow we'll be going into Capricorn, so that's very practical. That's a refreshing change after being in a Cancer energy that you may have found over the last couple of days. In fact, people around you may have been feeling very sensitive, or you yourself may have been feeling very sensitive, and that can be a good thing, that can be a bad thing. You may have been feeling particularly, especially this time of year, there's a lot of stuff around pull on your heartstrings, or sort of what people call soppy energy, or fluffy, sort of nice. You may have been feeling those kinds of energies, or you may have been feeling tense. So be aware of making tense situations worse. Just pull back, leave it at the altar. My will to thy will, okay? And listen to people, even if you don't agree, even if you already know what they're going to say before it comes out their mouth, because you've heard it before. Doesn't matter. Just listen anyway. Okay? Just leave them get it out. All right. So that needed to be said today, my loves. So let's go in with a reading. this is a collective reading. This is for all star signs. You don't need to be any particular star sign to join in with this reading. If it's just popped up on your feed today, there's probably something in there for you, so do stick with me. It's a bit different to other tarot readings, and you'll see how it works as we go along. I hope you're going to join me. I hope you're going to stick with me. I hope you're going to give me the like, the share, the comments. I really need those from you guys, and I appreciate every single one of them. So without further ado, I'm going to go in and call in the highest vibration of love, radical compassion into this reading today for ourselves, the amazing planet that we live on, for all of the species that we share this planet with, animals and plants and everything else in between, for all of the species that we share the solar system and the further galactic family with also, for everything that lives in the interdimensions, for the spirit world, for the star ancestors, for the ancestors, nothing but radical compassion and love. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. Okay. Excuse me. Just take a sip for a minute. Right. So if you haven't joined before, welcome and hello. What I do is this collective reading, okay, as the phases of the moon come round. So that's what I talk about in my preamble, as you've already heard. It's the basic, what the moon's, how the moon's affecting us, how the basic astrology is affecting us, etc. And then I take 4 cards out. Each one represents one of the elements, because I work on the premise that we've all got 4 elements within us and within our charts that we work with in varying degrees, okay? If you're not sure what's what, I do recommend you go and find out what elements are falling where, what planets are where in your birth chart. It's not as complicated as it sounds if you haven't looked before, and there are tons of tools available online for you to be able to do that in no time. If you just type into Google something like, what's my complete birth chart, what's my moon sign, what's my rising sign, you'll be led to loads of amazing tools to figure that out, okay? So I recommend you do that. So as I say, it comes in 4. So the first section represents air, and that's our thought and action, how we're getting things done, how our mental health states are. The second one represents water. Sorry, my camera flickered then, strangely. And the water represents our feelings, our heart, and all of that, and how we're doing with all of that. The third one represents fire, and that's our passion, creativity and drive and our willpower. And the fourth one represents earth, and that's the practical things, that's the everyday things, and that's how we're filtering everything into the 3D earthly realm via the spiritual lessons of the other 3. Seems to be how it works anyway. It's something I came up with when I first started the channel, and it seems to be working, so I've stuck with it. So please let me know what you think and feel about it. Please let me know what's resonating with you. As us tarot readers always say, take what resonates and leave the rest behind. Don't try and make it fit if it's not for you, okay? Just enjoy it as a healing and as entertainment if necessary. If it does resonate strongly with you, please get in touch with me and let me know, because I love to hear all about that, and it's always a joy to hear from any of you at all. So do keep in touch. If you did want a personal reading, I never approach you and ask you if you would like a reading. That will be a scammer if somebody's done that, okay? That won't be me. You can get in touch with me via the email address that I've put in the link below, okay? Now, some of you have sent me personal messages to my Facebook page, and I can't open them properly, but I have been. Last week I tried to open them. I always try, because there's an error with Facebook that's not letting us open that particular facility on there. And last week I tried, and it let me glimpse of them for a minute, so a couple of you will have got messages from me in your messenger, your regular messenger, okay? So do have a look at that, because a couple of you I have replied to. And thank you so much for getting in touch with me. I'm so sorry about the mix-up there. It's just been a fault on Facebook's part ever since I had the Facebook page, basically. And basically it just allowed me to have a quick glimpse of them, and it came up with a little message that said Facebook is currently updating this service. So there we go, my loves. But if you did want to get in touch and have a personal reading, like I say, just contact me at the address provided below, which is azeliastarot22@mail.com. Okay, my loves. So today we're using the Harmonious Tarot. I love, love, love this tarot deck. It's absolutely glorious. It's still quite new to me. I'm so thrilled to have it, because it was one that I've been drawn to for years, and since I've been working with it I can understand why. So there's our 4 cards out straight away. Okay, loving it. So we've got a 9 of Pentacles coming up in thought and action, represented by the element of air, my loves, okay? 9 of Pentacles, glorious. Let me have a proper look at this a minute. That is gorgeous. This is about self-love. This is about self-care. This is about self-improvement and all of those kinds of things, okay? You see 2 good spirits guiding you as well to actually do this, represented by that bird there on the coin that the lady in the Roman sort of headdress is wearing. It's also sort of Native American looking lady there as well on the card with her. And they're both standing on a shore. I wonder if somebody who's been looking at Native American mysticism lately, Native American culture or anything like that, or Roman even, or the ancient Roman and Greek cultures may have been fascinated to you recently. There's a brilliant blend of the both there. Isn't that wonderful? Yeah, so this is about self-improvement. It can be about learning. It can be about physical improvement. It can be about improving your surroundings, improving your finances. It's about taking the energy that you would normally put out there and allow other people to drain you off, especially potentially at this kind of time of year, maybe in a job that you're not entirely satisfied with, that your heart's not really in, or whatever, or toxic people around you, or whatever the situation is that's draining you. It's about realising that that's happening, taking that energy that you would normally be pouring into those things. It's just a dead end, really, a black hole to pour them into, that you're never getting anything back from of real worth, and pouring it into yourself and seeing the results of that. And Spirit has led you to this, I want to say as well, and it's elevated you greatly. I'm just going to look at the actual reference now. Bear with me, because all of the different tarot decks, of course, have different, slightly different filters on the meanings, and so I've been checking those as well, because a lot of the tarot decks I'm using these days are very new to me. They're not like the old one that I was using for years and years and I knew it inside out. So I'm just learning it with you, if that makes sense. It says you gain, success, realization and wealth. Exactly. So that's what I'm getting, is gain and realization. Did I not use that word just now? The realization that where you've been pouring your energy is bringing you very little back, and if you pour it into things that you're actually passionate about, that you're actually good at, so that might mean taking a leap of faith, even that might mean leaving something behind us like a steady wage or something like that, and following your heart, following your true calling, following that thing that sets your soul on fire a bit, and seeing the gain and the wealth coming from that. Now I feel like you've started to see some, but you'd like to see more of it as well. Realising that you can be successful, realising that this is possible, and pouring your energy in that direction. And of course, success doesn't come overnight. You know, it's a myth, isn't it? Overnight success. There's no such thing. It might seem like that to other people when people become successful overnight, but in actual fact, there's no such thing. Overnight success has taken somebody years and years and years of working quite hard. That's another thing, you know. I mean, yeah, we should be working smarter, not harder. Yeah, we should be sort of enjoying life and not working so hard. I totally agree. But remember that there has to be that failure is a part of a success, is what I want to say. So you have to keep going. Remember that there's no such thing as overnight success, so keep going. Okay, and this is Spirit urging you to keep going, to keep following that dream of yours, okay, and keep putting your energy in that direction, because if nothing else, you're getting that satisfaction and pride out of it, and eventually it is going to pay you. Eventually it is going to pay you. This is a 9 of Pentacles. It's pretty good. It's pretty high up in the money stakes. But it's not why you're doing it either. It's like it's not why you're doing it, because if that was why you were doing it, you wouldn't be doing so well at it. You're doing it because you actually love it, because your heart and your soul are involved in it, okay? And that's what is going to make you successful in the end. All right, so somebody's got their head right around that. I feel like this is goal setting for the new year even. I feel like somebody's, like, as we do, setting goals for the new year ahead and has got your head around, yeah, I've got this and it pays my wage and it's okay and whatever, but what I really want to do is whatever that is for you, yeah? And you've started to realise that you need to just keep putting that effort in, and eventually it's going to pay off, okay? Spirit is guiding you with that, my loves. The next one's another 9. All the 9s. Now, interestingly, 9 might be a special number to you in particular. Your numerology number might be 9. But 9 is a number of the full moon. It's a number of completeness, okay? It's a very interesting number if you look it up in numerology. If you're not sure what your numerology number is, I recommend you look it up as well. It might be of some interest to you, or it might be just a number that you noticed you keep getting a lot lately, or something like that. But there's something new. Surprises are coming in, I feel. Pleasant surprises with those 2 9s. 9 of Wands is also telling you you're nearly home. Traditionally, in a traditional tarot, 9 of Wands is like warrior energy. It's about having come so far, fought so many battles, overcome so many obstacles, and you're nearly at your goal. And you feel like stopping because you feel like you're never going to achieve your goal or get to that place that you're trying to get to. But this is Spirit urging you to definitely not throw in the towel, even though that's how you will feel by now. In the traditional one, he's got a bandage on, he's looking pretty battered, and it's like, don't give up now, please don't give up now, please don't stop now. That's the message here. It's a very similar message in a sense, being the 9s. Let's just check the insight of the reference there for this particular one. Threats, aggression, hostile forces, and the need for self-defense. This has come up repeatedly. It came up in a 7 of Rods energy in the last 2 or 3 readings. There's somebody who is still working through that energy then. It's been going on for about 3 or 4 weeks now altogether, of having to defend yourself, having to stand your ground on something, having to fend off quite hostile, negative people, attitudes and energies. Okay, and this is urging you to remain it. So it feels like it's going on forever for somebody. Now, when people have been, right, what I will say, and I said this a couple of weeks ago as well, because this has been going on for a while for somebody now, and now the 7's gone to the 9. So the 7's gone to the 9, so the progress has been made. So you're nearly there. It's moved from a 7. That feeling of having to stand your ground and defend yourself and fend off negative energies around you. What I will say is, those kinds of negative energies are, and I said this last time, are the kind of negative energies that you've put up with in the past. You've put up with them in the past. You've turned a blind eye. You've made excuses for people, and you've allowed yourself to be their victim in a sense, yeah? And you're not doing that anymore. But because you have allowed it for so long, or so many times, they are not going to just stop by there. It's going to take a while for them to actually vibrate away. Yeah, if that makes sense. This is definitely showing us that you've made progress from a 7 to a 9 over the last 3-4 weeks. So we're almost there. Don't give up now. You're almost at a point where you're going to see the results, and I've said this to you all along as well. By the time of the solstice, by the time of Christmas, you will have seen the results of this, and you will be in for a much more harmonious, peaceful solstice Yule time. Okay, so stand your ground. Okay, it's exhausting sometimes standing your ground all the time, and it's something that you feel you shouldn't have to do. In a perfect world, you shouldn't have to stand your ground. You shouldn't have to be defensive. You shouldn't have to protect your energy and protect your boundaries and things like that against people who've got whatever their issues are, you know. I don't even want to give that energy, to be honest with you, and neither should you. It is exhausting all the time. I mean, you've always got to be protecting your own boundaries and thinking in those terms. But you're nearly there. It's not going to go on forever, my loves. It's definitely not going to go on forever. And you've come so far as well. All this self-improvement, all this knowledge that you've gained with the 9 of Pentacles, all of this goal setting that you've been doing and achievement. And you've already achieved a lot. You've already achieved a lot. But you're getting ready to set out in the new year and achieve even more. The 10 is coming. I'm telling you now, we're so close. Beautiful. The next one to come up in the area of fire, so that's our creativity, our willpower, drive, passions. There's a beautiful Queen of Pentacles. Oh, isn't she glorious? Now, she does represent these earth signs, in particular Capricorn's coming into my mind. So I'm getting a lot of Capricorn energy. We're coming up for Capricorn season after Sagittarius. So it's no surprise we're getting a Capricorn sort of card there. But this does represent any of the earth signs. So this is Virgo, Taurus or Capricorn. Okay, so you yourself may have heavy placements of that in your chart, so you may be dealing with somebody who've got those signs or heavy placements of those signs in their charts, okay? This is in the area of fire, and it's interesting because she's the most practical, down-to-earth. This is the sort of all the 4 queens, she's the more down-to-earth one, I'd say. And she is, in fact, represents Earth, so it's no surprise that she's the down-to-earth one. She's that energy of a mum who can sort of get everything done, multitask, you know, make a little small budget stretch really far, build something out of nothing, make a meal out of nothing in the cupboard. It's that kind of energy, Queen of Pentacles. She doesn't need to have a lot to make her kingdom quite beautiful. She's very and the sort of irony of it is as well is that she's actually the one that's the most fond of nice things. And I feel in a lot of circumstances people who carry this energy or are working with this energy, it's because you have had very little. You have more appreciation for nice things. So she's had to work hard for every single nice thing she's ever had, you know, or she's had to make something. She's had to mend and make do more than the other queens, let's put it like that. And I think that's why she appreciates opulence so much, maybe. It's just my own little insight there. But it would make sense in a practical way. So this is about having that very steady, down-to-earth, multitasking, making sure everybody's got something, seemingly working miracles out of nothing kind of energy. So this is what we're going forward with in our creativity. And she's very creative. She's highly creative. You have to be to work with that kind of energy, to be able to build out of very little and to keep nurturing and keep growing and watch something grow and grow and grow. That was started off just a very small thing. You could give this lady one plant and she could turn it into an whole farm, you know, because she'll know exactly how to nurture it, exactly how to water it, and when, and she'll pay close attention. She's really good at giving attention to detail, which at this time of year is fantastic skills to have. I'm sure, and these are just a few of the skills of the Queen of Pentacles. I do recommend you look it up, okay? Because this is the energy we're working with in our fire, in our creativity moving forward towards the Christmas season now. And we couldn't have a better queen at our back, a better queen energy to be working with towards Capricorn season indeed. So, thrilled to bits to see that there. It represents, of course, the sunflower in this particular deck as well always represents abundance. Okay, and she's holding that as a pentacle and looking at it, and that means everything to her because she's worked so hard for it. Maybe you've saved up a bit at a time. Maybe you've been squirreling away Christmas presents and Christmas treats a bit at a time. It's that kind of energy, and now you're getting ready to reveal and to look at it and go, well, it means everything to me, but I've worked so hard to provide it, you know. And there's that sense of pride that goes along with it, and security and stability. And not only is she secure and stable in herself, but her secure and stable energy rubs off on other people around her, family members, children, young people, old people. She makes everyone feel safe and secure with that nurturing energy, and there's enough for everyone. Okay, my loves. I feel really moved by that, actually. There's a beautiful Queen of Pentacles coming up. It's just right for us in the season there. Now, in the area of actual earth, we've got a King of Swords. So we've got a masculine energy, quite different, and we've got a sword energy, which represents air traditionally. And I don't think I'd be wrong in saying he's a little bit Henry VIII, this particular King of Swords. It's about having a lot of focus. It's about being very, very business minded. It's about being able to achieve a lot, not being scared to use that sword. He knows what to cut off. He knows what to let go of. We're in the waning moon. It couldn't be more perfect to have a court sword card. It's a time of cutting off, of letting go of. He's not scared to draw a line with that. If he needs to cut people out, if he needs to say no, if he needs to throw his weight around a little bit, even I want to say, he will do it, okay? And he'll do it in a sort of a way that's now, and I mean this in the positive sense of it as well. It's almost an Aquarian energy to it. Well, it would be with the swords. Yes, this represents the air signs as well. So we've got earth signs and air signs here very strongly today. So this is, I'm getting Aquarian energy very strongly, because there's that level of being able to take the emotion out of a decision making, which sometimes is a good thing. Now, not that on the dark side of that is, oh, don't lose your heart space, don't lose your feels and all that. We're not going to. There's no way we're going to lose that, especially with the energy that's bounding at the minute. And we're in Cancerian energy, you know. But sometimes taking the feelings and emotions out of decision making is a skill. And it's a skill this guy has got. And sometimes you will need to do that for the greater good, which kings often have to do. So that's sort of divine masculine energy that's within us all, it's within us women as well, that's sort of saying, well, I've got to make this decision about this and that, and I'm doing it from a totally non-emotional place. And that doesn't, it's very stoic, you know. It's not that you don't care. It's not that you don't care. It's that you do care, but that you see that bringing emotions into a situation isn't going to help anything in the long run. Does that make sense? That's what I'm getting there. Anyway, let's just check the reference for it. I didn't check the I did check the reference to that queen, didn't I? Yeah. Security, economic advantages, saving, inheritance, legacy, and valuable gifts. Right, so this is something that somebody might be dealing with very strongly at the minute, okay? You may be sorting out your inheritance, you may have been gifted something quite generous, or something of that nature. Now, this is what I mean, security and economic advantages. So sometimes to create security and economic advantages, it's got nothing to do with the emotional side of life, okay? It doesn't mean that emotional side of life isn't there, isn't healthy, isn't thriving. We know it is, because we got that beautiful multitasking, earthy Queen of Pentacles energy coming in, okay? We've got Cancerian energy, as I said to you in the preamble, that's been abounding this week as well, which is the most maternal of energies. We've got the nurturing of the Nine of Pentacles, so don't be scared of it. Okay, I feel like somebody who's very much got this kind of stoic kind of energy, maybe in your circle or your family or something like that, might be helping somebody out right now. I want to say he's got a very strong character and very sharp mind, very business minded, very clever with money, very clever with making economic decisions. Some people, like, and as I say, some people will say, oh, well, he takes the emotions out of things or whatever, but that doesn't mean he doesn't feel them, okay? That doesn't mean he doesn't care. It's quite the opposite. In fact, his way of perhaps showing you that he does care, and I'm just being drawn to this cloak he's wearing, and it's all sort of made of leaves and greenery and everything. It's absolutely gorgeous. His sort of way of showing you that he cares. He might not throw his arms around you and well up and hug you and sing and dance and that sort of thing. He might be a little bit, you know, but his way of showing you that he cares is making sure that you've made wise financial decisions, is by giving you financial advice, is perhaps even by giving you a leg up and giving you a loan or making you a generous gift of some money or something like that, okay? And that is his way of showing you that he cares. Okay, about his stability and his security, absolutely. So somebody might be dealing with somebody of that nature, I feel very strongly. Yeah. Or there may be a couple in your family or circle that sort of basically are these two. You've got the lady with the Queen of Pentacles energy and the gentleman with the King of Swords energy, and they may be your parents, they may be a dear aunt and uncle or grandparents, they may be you and your partner. You see there, I'm feeling like there's some kind of dynamic, family dynamic there for somebody very strongly, okay? They're very, very proud of how far you've come, I want to say as well. But there's surprises coming. It's a season of surprises, and they're good surprises, I have to say as well. But I'm feeling that with the 2 9s together, this is surprises of abundance, of positive things, of unexpected gifts, of generosity, of fertility, and all of those kinds of energies. Okay, my loves, I feel really excited for somebody. Literally, I've got a massive grin on my face. I wasn't there before the reading, because somebody's got amazing surprises coming their way. Oh my days. So congratulations to whoever that is. I'm sure you deserve it. Let's go in and clarify with Swedish Tarot. We've been loving Swedish Tarot. Now weirdly, I meant to start with Swedish Tarot. In my mind, before I sat down to do this, I was going to start with Swedish Tarot, and I didn't for something. So there we go. It's all as it should be, I'm sure. Let's see. I want to say here as well, just because I've got this, maybe in a bonnet about these 2 figures in the 9 of Pentacles card. It doesn't usually show us 2 figures. In this particular deck it does, and as I say, one's like an American Indian lady and one's like a Greek or Roman sort of looking lady. I want to say there's something here about siblings who are really different from each other. Like as different as them two. They're both really special. They're both really beautiful, wise, special, and in many ways very similar. But both really different as well, just as these 2 ladies are. But in the same place, in the same position, in the same... One's carrying a pentacle, one's carrying some kind of a palm or something. There's something about that there for somebody as well. And there's also this features 2 like little flower fairy type figures, one a lot younger. These might be children as well. Just okay. Bear with me. If you're enjoying the reading, please give me the like, please give me the share, please give me the thumbs up. As I say, these tarot decks that I'm using currently are fairly new to me, so I get carried away with the little details sometimes, so please bear with me while I learn them with you. Okay, let's see what's coming up with the Swedish Tarot to clarify this 9 of Pentacles. Get some clarification on that 9 of Pentacles, please, for the collective reading. That's a flip. Has to slow down under this a minute. Okay, so please give me a like, please give me a share, please give me a subscribe. Please let me know what your thoughts and feelings are about this reading today. That would be absolutely fab. Please leave me a comment in the box below, preferably. So, there we go. Oh, lovely. We had these last week. Yay! Okay. Absolutely beautiful, as always. Let me just check what we've got here before we go any further. The sun. No. Death. Wow. What an interesting death card. Okay, now not to be scared, in case you're not familiar with tarot, the death card doesn't actually mean somebody's going to die or anything of the kind. It means allowing something to die, that something needs to be let go of, that some energy needs to be cleared before we can step into some new energy. And we're in the season of it, to be honest with you. We're in the middle of winter, so it's no surprise the death card has come up. Final sweeping away of nature, to be reborn again in the springtime. This is a really interesting illustration. that's not the obvious death. This is what I mean about the tarot decks being so different from each other. Never seen a death image, anything like that, and you wouldn't necessarily have guessed that it was death either by looking at it. So I will read the reference to you. It says, 2 maidens stand opposite each other, each with a vessel in their hands. They look like offerings for the night sky. Reverence for the experience. The unknown is closer than you think. Transformation from one side to another. Exactly. And that's to support that 9 of Pentacles. That's to support all of that energy of self-care, of taking your attention away from things that are draining you, putting them towards things that are improving you, making you feel good, and that you know are right for you. That's clarifying that energy. So, and allowing those things that have been draining your energy up till now, whatever they are, whether they're people, circumstances, or whatever, to just die off, okay? With reverence, okay? They're making an offering to the night sky. Reverence for the experience. The unknown is closer than you think. Transformation. Exactly, because you are transforming. You are in the process of transforming. You are in the process of all of this self-improvement that you've been doing, okay? And all of this self-nurturing, self-improvement, moving towards your own goals, moving towards your own passions, and all of that. You are actually transforming. It's closer than you think. The 9, you see what I said at the beginning about the 9, don't give up now. It's a lot closer than you think. So hang in there, continue, keep up the good work. The unknown is closer than you think. Some of us may be having a lot of mystical experiences at this time, I want to say as well. Making offerings to the night sky. This suggests you may be doing some kind of ritual work or something like that as well, or that you've been thinking about it, and this is your calling card to actually deepen your experience with those kinds of things as well. Making an offering to the night sky. Well, we're coming up for solstice, you know, and it's a perfect time to make an offering of some kind. But sometimes making an offering, you know, to me that suggests like literally we're sacrificing something that perhaps kept us going a little bit, or, you know, was a way that we had to survive, or a way that we had to cope, or certain people that we've become dependent upon, certain situations that we've become dependent on. It's okay to sacrifice them. Now is the time. Spirit is showing you clearly it's okay to allow that to go. Just allow it to be swept away with the season, with the winter. Allow it to sleep. Allow it to lie dormant, because what's coming is a transformation, and it's better than you can even imagine, and it's closer than you imagine also. Love that energy for you, my loves. Ace of Cups. Now see, again, would you guess that this was an Ace of Cups? This is Swedish John Bauer Tarot we're working with you today. Would you ever have guessed that that was an Ace of Cups? Apart from the fact it says 1 and a cup, and you know, looking at the image, no, exactly. Now, what the actual reference says is you're feeling refreshed, you have overflowing emotions, and let the world receive your gifts. Let the world receive your gifts. Now, it's interesting that it's come up in the area of heart. It's interesting that it's come up in the area of water and our feelings and our emotions. We couldn't ask for a more auspicious energy than an ace in any tarot reading. As I always say to you guys, in the old school of tarot, you had to have an ace in a reading, or you would be asked to do it another time. So there's our Ace of Cups, and it's come up in the area of water, of our heart. Represents the heart. In traditional tarot, the Ace of Cups represents a full heart that's overflowing because you've done the self-work. It's backing up that 9 of Wands, so it's showing us how close, how much more synchronicities and signs would we need to understand that how close we are now to having a completely full cup, to having a full 10 in life, okay? Your healing's nearly complete. Don't stop now, okay? Continue with your work. Continue to make those offerings, whatever that is. Continue to improve yourself. Continue to understand that the divine is so much closer than you think it is sometimes. Ace of Cups is perfect, beautiful. Feeling refreshed, overflowing emotions, let the world receive your gifts. You're nearly there. You're nearly there. And exactly that I know on this figure here, like the flower. Does look, I mean, if ever there was a feeling of refreshment, I mean, he's dressed up like a big flower. Being able to be so healed and be so accomplished in yourself, and all the work you've been doing on yourself, and all the work you're still setting yourself goals to do in the new year as well, that you're actually able to give of yourself, because your cup is full. Your Ace of Cups is actually full. Let the world receive your gifts, whatever they are, that are unique to you. I feel like there's a lot of gifts of nurture in you today, for sure. The next one that came up to clarify the Queen of Pentacles, we had this one last week. It's an absolutely fascinating energy in the Swedish Tarot, and it is the Hermit card. Now, you see what I mean? How is that anything like a traditional Hermit? It's not. A traditional Hermit features an old man in a cloak, like a wizardy looking guy with a staff and a lantern, and here we've got a beautiful fresh-faced young girl with the crown of laurel and candles on her head. It couldn't be more different. It's an absolutely wonderful energy. It's come up to support the Queen of Pentacles as well. So let's see let's remind ourselves what the Swedish Hermit said. A young maiden stares out into a starry sky. She wears a green laurel with 7 white candles, the flames of which burn high into the air. Trust in your own knowledge and be prepared for the next step. Make yourself ready to lead the charge. That couldn't be more... Like, that is so different to the usual Hermit interpretation as well, I'm sure you'll agree. That was Mr. Murray playing with his new Christmas toy down there. But to support... This is why I had to do it this way round and not the way round that I thought I was going to do it as well. Right. Because to support that Queen of Pentacles, that interpretation couldn't be more right. I mean, trust in your own knowledge. Queen of Pentacles trusts in her own knowledge completely. Be prepared for the next step. She's the most prepared of the queens. She's the most down to earth, the most practical one. Being prepared for the next step. Make yourself ready to lead the charge. That is so perfect to support that Queen of Pentacles in ways that the regular Hermit card wouldn't be, and in ways that it wouldn't have been if I had done the Swedish first and then done, you see what I mean, and then done the Harmonious. That's absolutely spot on. And this has come up in her area of fire, and see how she's balancing a crown of fire upon her head without fear at all. Perfectly balancing your fire, knowing what the next step is, being prepared to lead the charge. Absolutely love it. I feel absolutely joyous. And the next one to come up as well we had last week, and it was the most magical one that we had last week, I feel, and it was our gorgeous Two of Cups. Got a lot of Cups energy here today, a lot of love energy, a lot of harmony in the love, a lot of harmony in our Cups today. So it said, loving another without boundaries, an important bond, stepping into something greater. That's come up to support the King this week, okay? So the same energies. So this shows me as well that those energies that came up for us last week with the Swedish Hermit and the Swedish Two of Cups, we've worked them well and we've worked them to our advantage. They're still here in the reading and they've moved further on in the reading, which shows me clearly that we did take those energies and we did put them to full advantage, okay? And this is what I was picking up before I turned the cards over as well, something about a special bond between people here, a very special bond, a special family dynamic, a special bond. It's getting deeper, it's growing into something even more magical, being part of something greater. Yeah, moving forward into something greater and being part of something greater. Okay, I feel very, very happy and very, very content for somebody. A great feeling of contentment and a knowing that sometimes things don't feel like they're going to work out, but that they have a way of working out, especially when we're able to stay in our power and when we're able to move away from the things that don't work and move towards the things that do work. even if that takes some time, and it surely will take some time, especially if we've been doing it another way for a long time and giving people time that don't deserve our attention, time and attention, then it is going to take a while. But seeing the results of it, I'm being so close to seeing the full results of it now. So close. I'm loving that energy for us, my loves. Hope you're enjoying too. Next ones that we're going to have a little look at are Brian Froud's Fairies. Singing to me today. They've been my old favourites, as many of you know. This is my absolute favourite Oracle deck, and it's one that I've worked with for many years. I find it absolutely enchanting and magical, and let's see what's coming up with these guys today. They wanted to come in and support us today. On the run up to solstice, my love, seems like everything's starting to smooth out. It's like all of your hard work that wasn't hard work. It was actually just about relaxing, learning the lessons of letting go, learning the lessons of release, learning to put your attention in the right places and things like that, is really showing results as this week goes on, my darlings. And I'm so happy to see that. So let's see what's coming up with Brian Froud Fairies today. Right, that one's come out in a crossing energy. Okay, so I'll take that and see what's all about in a minute. And there's another one. Right, so we got two. I'm not surprised to see Penelope. She was at the bottom of the deck earlier on, trying to show herself to me. So this particular card was at the bottom of the deck earlier on, and I sort of caught a glimpse of it. Penelope Dreamweaver. Okay. And we've got an crossing sort of energy, the Singer of Connection, and it's come out across that bit. See what's happened? So this is where we were talking about this power couple and this family dynamic and all of this. The Singer of Connection has come out sort of crossing there. Okay, the singers in this particular tarot deck are tantamount to archangel energy. It's very high vibing energy. Okay, let me just get the little book now. Penelope Dreamweaver is often about having dreams, following your dreams, following your visions, being given visions, being spoken to in your dreams by spirit, and all of this things of this sort of nature. Let's have a little refresher and have a little look. Penelope Dream, magical dreams, visions, inspiration. Okay. Seek wisdom and inspiration. Be aware that they are often subtle and require close attention. Fantasies, dreams and daydreams are all places an inspiration fairy can contact you, but she can also pop up unannounced in the midst of the most ordinary of activities, in the bath, washing the dishes, driving your car, or anywhere else that your mind is half occupied and running on idle. Pay special attention to unsought inspirations at this time. They have something wonderful to offer you, but it is up to you to catch them and bring them into reality. I love that. Sorry, I've been drawn to this. I don't want to read it all because it's paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs, and sometimes there's too much, yeah. But I've just been drawn to this little bit here, which says, in this painting, Brian has shown us Penelope, his own inspiration fairy, but we each have one, was more than willing to help me. Mine says to call her Grace, because she says she isn't exactly somebody I deserve, just somebody I'm lucky enough to have in my life. And I feel like especially this time, I don't know, there's just something in there. There's something in there. My mind went on idle then. Do you see what happened? Exactly what the card suggests is exactly what happened right before you then. My mind went on half idle, and then I picked up on that. And that is something that we can all sort of look around and see those special people in our life. Somebody that you don't deserve to have, maybe, or you feel you do deserve to have them. I mean, we all deserve it. We're all worthy, you know. But somebody perhaps that you feel you don't deserve to have in your life, but that you were lucky to have in your life. these are the people that we need to show appreciation to, and make sure they understand how precious their support and love is to us as well at this time, I want to say, within this family sort of dynamic that I'm getting here. Singer of connection. Okay, let's look at that. Number 6. Spiritual connection, karma, balance and empathy. Through the power of this singer, all connections are made, held and released as appropriate. Interesting. In a reading, this singer indicates the connection of things, especially reconnecting those that have been sundered. It is unifying and reunifying. It tells us that we need to be aware of the connections between different aspects of the issue under discussion, as well as the connections between the people linked by it. We may also need to build more connections, a network of mutual support. The presence of the singer of connection in a reading indicates support and strength flowing through connections between those involved. Isn't that backing up perfectly what we've already discussed in this reading today? There's a sense of somebody, a reunion as well, because it says unifying and reunifying. All connections are made, held and released as appropriate. So some connections you're letting go of for sure. Somebody here is letting go of something that you used to put up with, an old pattern. People, and we discussed this over the last couple of weeks, people who are like Venus flytrap fairies who just leave you drained, take the mick, whatever, letting go of as appropriate. Reunifying with other people, so there's reunions with other people going on here. For somebody else, there's a strengthening of the bonds that already exist, realising how special people are to you and showing appreciation for them, and realising how special you are to them also and being appreciated by them. That's all come up here today, and it's absolutely perfect and absolutely blessed and wonderful for this time of year, my darlings. I'm sure you'll agree. Just one more thing to do then, and that's our moon ritual. Okie dokie, and then we'll close for this one. I hope you've enjoyed. Please, as I say, please give me the thumb, smash the bell if you want the notifications. Give me a subscribe. It's not a catch. There's nothing to it. It just means I'm growing my channel if you've subscribed. It won't mean anything to you other than you'll know when my video's coming out. It won't be any catch involved whatsoever. I give you my personal guarantee, but it is a way to help me grow this channel, which I sorely need you to do. Okay, my darlings. So please consider that and thank you in advance. Ritual was coming up for the moon ritual. Just the one today, lovely. The new moon will guide me towards mental and emotional clarity. It's got a beautiful wolf howling in an orange sky. Now, the new moon is actually on Christmas Eve this year, the next new moon. So how magical is that? It's going to guide us towards mental and emotional clarity. I'm sure we had this one last time as well, but we had a whole lot of them fall out last time. But this one was definitely in there the more I think about it. Mental and emotional clarity, the beautiful wolf there, that might mean something to somebody also. So because a lot for weeks it kept coming up an energy of confusion and a lack of direction and a lack of focus, but we seem to be clearing through a lot of that now. This has been a very precise, clear reading, and that energy's gone away. And what we've been left with is the good energies that we were shown to work with, the Two of Cups, the Hermit. The new moon. So that's what we've got to look forward. So we've still got time to clear. That Death card showed us, okay? Supporting that Nine of Pentacles. We've still got time this week to clear away and let go of connections. Singer of Connections backing us up with that as well. that are not good for us, that are outdated, that are just draining us, that we don't want to take forward with us into the new year. Got plenty of time for letting that go, even if it's just on an emotional level. Sometimes it's really difficult to let go of those kinds of things all at once. And in fact, it's very, very rare that it's possible, especially if somebody's got, like, they're closing you that much or whatever. But even if you're just withdrawing emotionally, even if you're just withdrawing mentally, even if you're just taking one step at a time every day to sort of put yourself first a little bit more and things like that, you'll find over time that builds up and builds your strength and builds your strength and builds your strength, and eventually those other people who are in a completely different vibration to you, you're just going to vibrate away from each other. It's just the way it's going to be eventually. So hang in there, don't give up, okay? By the time of the new moon, so by the time of Christmas Eve, this is showing us very clearly, we'll be well on our way towards mental and emotional clarity. So even if we're not quite there, because this reading today was very stable, very calm, and all of those things, but some of us might not quite be feeling like we're there with a lot of this yet, but it's coming. By the time of Christmas Eve, we will have that mental and emotional clarity, my loves. Okay, so I hope that's helped. I hope it makes sense. I hope you've enjoyed. I hope it resonated for somebody, and that you're going to get in touch with me and let me know all about it. And I will look forward to hearing from each and every one of you. I'll be back in tomorrow with a Starseed Collective reading and with the Earth Signs Love reading. Okay, my loves. So thank you so much for your time and energy, and I wish you all the love and all the light.